Is my mic on? Yeah. All right, good morning, guys. We have Dex with us today. He is probably going to sleep through the entire thing, which is fine. We're going to do a mixture, actually, of back extension, a little bit of rotation as well, and some lower body flexibility. So we're just going to mix the two together. We are going to start off with something quite light, but does feel awesome. So we're going to grab our foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, you can do this with a rolled up mat. It won't be as good, but you'll get somewhat the same effect. You can also use it with the double back balls as well if you have those. But we're going to lie down. It's up to you where you place the foam roller, and you can move it to where you need it as we go along. But ideally you want it at your tightest spot on your back. So for me that is about here. So it's about mid back, and we are aiming to get our thoracic, not our lower back. So you can go a little bit higher as well if you need to, and that'll get a bit more through your shoulders. But essentially you want to not use your lower back. So our bum is going to be tucked under, hands are going to go behind the ears, and then we're going to try to arch over the foam roller as far as we can. You've got to squeeze your shoulder blades together so you're active, you're not just passively flopping. And then you're going to come back to your hollow position, okay? So we're going to do 10 of those. Again, feel free to move the roller if you need to. This is 1. So trying to get our head and our elbows to the ground. And 2. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more to go. 9. And last one, 10. Okay, we're going to come back to this one so you can pop the roller to the side. We're going to roll onto the left side, having your hand out in front of you. Elbows in line with the shoulder, hand is in line with the elbow, so this is a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to grab hold of the wrist. You want to make sure that you are pulling this arm right back into the socket, so we're not lifting it off the ground. And we're going to stretch our internal rotators. So using your hand like a lever, you're going to gently press it to the floor, go as low as you can, and then lifting back up. So I'm going to go again. This is 2. And 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Again, keep pulling the shoulder back in. 9. And last one, 10. All right, we're going to change sides. So same thing, grab hold of the wrist, make sure your elbow is in line with the shoulder, morning mat, and then pulling the hand down. This is 1. And 2. 3. And 4. Also making sure you're stacked on top as opposed to being out here. And again, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more time, 10. Okay, grab the roller, and we're going back to this one. So we're going to do 2 more sets. Hands behind the ears, roller on your upper back. What coffee do I like? I don't like coffee, Matt. We're a tea drinker, strictly tea. This is 1, and 2, 3. You don't drink coffee, do you, Gary? No. Is that it? It's not really an English thing, I guess. 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep trying to pull the elbows down as well. And 9. And we're going to do 1 more. 10.
It's not like English people don't like coffee, they just can't get past a good coffee.
My mum likes to have a really weak flat white, and then I'm like, at that point, are you really drinking coffee? Yeah. You're just drinking milk and water.
Hot milk, a dash of coffee.
Pretty much. And she also has to have it scalding hot, like burnt pretty much. I'm like, oh no. All right, we're going back to this one. This is 1, 2, 3. I'm actually really particular about tea. Because if I go to a cafe and they give me a tea bag, no. You just know. You can buy a box of tea bags for the amount it costs you to buy 1 tea.
Yeah, that's what I hate about getting any takeaway tea, is the cost of it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, just chuck a tea bag in, throw water.
Yeah.
It seems like a rip off.
And it's when they charge you the difference for a different size too. You're just adding more water for a large size at this point. It's like, sometimes, like in lot 6 in Scarborough, they're really good. They'll actually, sometimes, depends who it is, but charge me for a medium, and they'll just top it up with water for a large cup, which is basically what you do. It's an extra 50 cents for
when
water.
I used to work in a petrol station, whenever someone wanted tea, I just charged them like this minimal. And I'm like, I can't charge you, because we charge it the same as a coffee, and I'm like,
Oh my god!
I was like, no, I just charge like it's $2.50. And then they can have whatever size.
With as much water as they like.
Yes.
All right, we're going to do 1 more set, and then we're going to move on. Good, so we're aiming for 10 of these. So it's 1. And 2. 3. So notice I moved the roller as well, because as one part starts to loosen up, you can go to a different spot and work on that. Should get a little bit easier as you go along. 6. 7. 8. 8. And 9. And one more time. 10. Okay. Rollers can go to the side. We're going to finish off with our last set of internal rotation. And then we're going to work on some glute stretching. Corey will be proud. And some side bending. So just finishing the last set of internal rotations. Try not to let the shoulder lift off the ground. You kind of lose the stretch a little bit. 2. And 3. 4. 5. Did Corey set homework for last week?
Yeah. Kind of ran out of time, but it was a bit of extra.
Ah, okay. 8, 9, and 10. All right, other side. Notice how vastly different the arms are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more time, 10. Okay, with your active position, feel free to get a mat or a rug, just something soft for your foot, because you are going to be leaning a lot of weight on the side. It does get quite painful. With your pancake, depending on where you're at, we want to be able to sit up nice and tall in this position here. If you feel like you are back here, I'll show you from the side. So if you're back here and you feel like you can't quite get on top of your hips, you can grab a few cushions or something to sit on, like so, and this will allow you to sit up nice and straight, okay? So with your pigeon, again, use the mat, Dexter. We are going to have one foot in front of the other. Back leg is going to be nice and straight, so you might get a stretch through your hip flexors as well. Try and drop your hips as best as you can. And then we want to have our foot far enough in front that when we go to the side, the foot is in line with the knee, okay? You're going to hold it there, and then you're going to come back up here. Hands are there to support you. My foot is in the middle of my hands. If you want to make it a little bit nicer, you can bring that foot closer to the same hand if you'll make it harder. So foot close to the opposite hand will be easier. Foot closest to your same hand will be a little bit harder, okay? We're going to do 5 on each side. They're going to be nice and slow reps, and we're going to spend a bit of time in the actual stretch. So I'm going to start with my left foot forward. Sorry, we're doing 8. I lied. So 1, coming down, and back up. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and last one, 8. Changing legs. So again, back leg straight. Coming onto the side, and 1, trying to keep the hips square to the ground so we're not leaning over. And 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, going into that pancake position now. So you should feel a little bit freer in your hips after doing that. You're going to sit up nice and tall. We are going to rotate. So I'm going to try and work on side flexion going to the right first. That means I'm going to be stretching out through my left side. Hands ideally are going to go over your head. They can also go behind the ears if you need to make it a bit easier. You're going to turn, try and lift your chest up so you're thinking about lengthening over rather than compressing the side. You'll get a lot more out of it. If you try to think about getting your shoulder to your knee or even think past the knee, and we're trying to keep our opposite butt cheek to the ground. So if I'm going to the right side, trying to keep my left butt firmly on the floor, okay? So doing 5 repetitions, turning, lifting my chest up, lengthening over, trying to get my right shoulder in front of my right knee. So I'm not on it, I'm not folding over it, I'm trying to look up to the ceiling, and then we're pulling back up out of it, okay? Same thing goes if you're doing it with straight arms. This will be a bit harder, okay? We're going 5 to the same side, and then we're going to go to the other side. All right, and 1, 2, 3, 4, last one, 5. We're going to hold this one, so if you can, you're going to grab hold of your foot, try and reach this hand out in front, and then rotate your chest up to the ceiling. If you can't grab the foot, hand can come to the ground, and you can just try and reach and think about pulling that hand towards you so you can rotate your chest up to the ceiling. I always cramp doing this. Okay. So we're going to hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then changing sides. So I'm going to my left side now. And 1, 2, 3, 4, last one we're going to hold, so 5, speaking, grab the foot, try and rotate the chest, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming out, we're going to go back to your active pigeon. So starting with the left leg again, whichever leg you started with first. Remember, we want our foot quite far in front so your knee is in line and we're not back here. I'm going to do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Go. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and last one, 8. Okay, going back to your pancake. Hands going up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Holding at the bottom. Reach that hand forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and changing sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Holding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to do one more set of each. So going back to your pigeon. And 1. Coming down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And side. What are you cold, buddy? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, last set of your rotation. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and changing sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We are holding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and resting. All right, moving on into active pancake and standing back extensions. So basically doing a forward fold, and we're going to do back bending. So both are just opposite movements, quite nice to pair together. With your pancake, again, it depends where you're at. But if you are quite stiff in that position, feel free to keep sitting on something, and that will again help get your chest up nice and tall. If you are already pretty flat or close to being flat, then you will start raising your feet. So basically whatever you can get your hands on. Make sure both sides are even. So I've just got 2 foam rollers. that I can put my feet on. You can also use yoga blocks, will work just fine, or even little stools if you have them. But essentially, you want to put your feet on them. And now when you come forward, it's going to be a bit harder, okay? Making sure that with whatever variation you're working on, your legs are as wide as they can go. And then this is optional, but adding a weight as well will make it a bit more challenging. If you're quite stiff, so if you are sitting on something and you find it really difficult to bring your chest forward, having a weight is quite useful in helping you get a little bit further. But if you are quite on the floppy side, so you don't have a lot of strength in this position, I'd go either no weight or very, very lightweight. So you want something that you can go all the way down and come all the way back up. It's not easy, but it's challenging, but it's doable, okay? So I've got a dumbbell. It's gonna sit on my shoulders where my traps are. And then I'm just gonna go forward with a flat back. So I'm trying to stick my butt out and pop my ribs forward, because we want to get our belly button to the ground, not my shoulders. So we're not rounding forward. Also making sure that your legs are active, especially if you do have your feet raised. You're trying to push your knees into the ground as hard as you can, toes pointed. So quads are engaged. We're going to do 10 of these. So nice and tall in the chest. We're coming forward. You can ease into it. And then lifting back up. Okay? And 2. And up. 3. 4. 1 sock the whole workout. Why? Just have one cold foot.
I'm probably at that.
And 7. Just to spruce it up. The thought of that makes my OCD cry, especially when I see people with odd socks.
Probably what they want.
No.
Yeah, 2 very different coloured socks.
Oh, no. And do 2 more.
I think it's one of those.
Okay. Having 1 sock or odd socks. I've just never understood. Like, when you wash your socks, do these people just like chuck them in the drawer?
Yeah, I hang them in pairs.
Right.
Like,
and then you fold them, and then I just, because usually the excuse was, oh, I couldn't find the other one.
Yeah.
But it's like,
majority of the time they're on your feet. Put them in the wash basket and they go and wash.
and you find them, and then
Yeah, I think, because usually I just have them both together, have them up dry. And
yeah.
as I take off the line or clothes or whatever, fold them.
It's just order in this society. Just good socks. The next one we're going to do, you're going to be standing. You're going to have a wall behind you. It's up to you how hard you want to make this. If you're going quite light in it, I'd go higher with the reps. Thank you for the suggestion. So you can go high reps, so we've got 6. If you are making it a little bit harder, so going deeper into a back bend, I'd go a bit less, okay? So we want to have our feet, I've gone quite wide with mine, makes it a little bit easier. Bum is tucked under. Make sure you push your hips forward so you're using your hip flexibility as much as you can. And we're just going to see how far we can get our hands down the wall. Try not to hinge from one spot in your spine. That is why we spent that first 10 minutes rolling out our upper back, because that is what I want you to try and use. So shoulders and upper back. So you've got to squeeze your shoulder blades together as hard as you can. So hands start over the head. Make sure your butt is squeezing, your abs need to be engaged. And then you're going to try to go back. And then come forward. Again, try not to just bend for one bit. You want to try and use your entire spine to go back. If it feels a little bit tricky, you can go closer to the wall. If you need a bit more of a challenge, you can come away from the wall. But the trick is to send as much weight forward so that you can counterbalance going back, okay? All right. I'm going to do 4, and I'll go quite low. So hands overhead, bum squeezing, lift your chest up, and 1. Try and breathe at the same time. 2. 3. 1 more. 4. Again, the smaller movement would be going quite close and just working on that. So making sure you're engaging your upper back. And if you are doing that, I would probably do 6 reps. But the lower down you go, the less reps you'll do, just because you don't want to aggravate your lower back. So usually when you've done some back bending, it feels quite nice to do the opposite movement, which is forward folding. And that is why we're doing pancake. It's also a good stretch. So again, adjust as needed. Super precarious. Okay. Quad squeezing, toes pointed. I'm going into 10 of these. So, tailbone sticking out and lowering down. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And last one, 10. Okay. Speaking of useless things that I bought recently, I bought a martial arts splits machine. Have you ever seen those? No. You like, it's got a wheel in front of you, and then it's got like little platforms for your feet, and then it's like a metal bit that connects it to like a little seat, and it's got a little backrest, and then you like crank the wheel and it takes your legs back, and you can just sit there, keep cranking it. It's great.
I guess it's healthy stretch and like.
Yeah, it's passive stretching, but it's just nice to. It's comfortable, you know. And I'm always like, oh, you should just sit in front of the TV and stretch. There's no excuse. But it's hard to make it comfortable when you've got like cushions and like a thing holding you there. You can just stay there.
Oh yeah.
It's great. I'm excited.
But have you used it yet?
I've used. Someone had one that I was doing a PT with, and I used it then, and I was like, oh, I need this in my life. So, it's great. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think it's good.
I know what you mean, like, you don't have to do anything.
Right? It's just lazy stretching, then you have no excuse. All right, we're going back to this. Again, make sure you deep breathe because you tend to feel quite lightheaded if you go back and then come back up. Gasping for air. Okay, hands overhead, bum squeezing, tailbone tucked under, squeeze shoulder blades together. It's 1. 2. 3. I'm going to do one more. And 4. All right, you are halfway. We're going to do 2 more sets. So make sure you are going as wide as you can. Okay. And 1. Sorry, Tex. And 2. So as you go wider, it does get heavier because it's harder to push into the ground. So you can adjust the weight as well or take the weight off. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more, 10. Okay. A nice thing to do after that is some internal rotation. So literally just trying to tap your knee to the ground and then alternating sides. It's just a bit of a counter stretch. All right, back to the wall. Okay, bum tucks, hands over your head. Retract your shoulders. And 2. 3. 4. 'Cool. We're going to do one more set. And then we will finish. Okay. So again, nice and flat. If you have been on a block doing this, feel free to take the block off and see if it's a little bit easier to come forward. So this is 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, knees together again. Feel free to go through those internal rotation stretches. So just tapping the knees to the ground. And then into our last set of these. So bum tucked, hands over the head. This is 1, 2, 3, and last one, 4. Okay, feel free to do a little pike stretch after you've done that. So just folding forward. You don't have to go very far, we're just stretching out through here. And then we're going to get into our last little superset. So just some rotation exercises. First one we'll do will be in a pike, and then the other one will be in extension. So with the pike version, you're going to go feet double hip width apart. You're going to have knees straight. Taking one hand, so I'm going to go my right hand, is going to grab the opposite leg, which is my left. The left hand is coming out to the side, and then I'm using my arm on my ankle as leverage to try and rotate up to the ceiling, and then coming back down here, okay? We're going to do 5 on each side. So this is 1, and 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. Try and keep your hips square so we're not leaning to the side, otherwise you'll miss the stretch. Other leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Cool. Onto your stomach, and we're going to go into some scorpion. Oh, where's my mat? Dex is on my mat. Oh no, you just stay there. All right. Hands are going to go to the side. You're going to bend one knee. You're going to squeeze your butt to lift that foot as high as you can. And then you're going to try and take it over to the side. We're going to try and touch our hand or as close to it as possible. And you're aiming to keep both shoulders nice and flat to the floor. You might have to lift the shoulder off, which is fine. But try and keep it as far down as possible. I'm going to do 5 on each side. We're going to do the same side first and then go to the other side rather than alternate. So this is 1. And try and have this hand in line rather than back here. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Changing. And 1. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, going back to the first one. So again, forward folding, grab the ankle, keep the hips square, and lifting the arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Onto the ground again. Scorpion, so hands out to the side, bend the knee, lift it up, and taking it over. 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. Changing. And 1. 2. Try and keep this leg in extension so you're reaching the whole time. 3. 4. And 5. All right, we've got one more set. And then we are going to finish. Just going back into this one. Grab the ankle. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Into our last scorpion. Hands out to the side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. All right. If your back is cramping, as in your lower back, feel free to do a counter stretch, so a little bit of a forward fold. Feels quite nice after doing that. Otherwise, you are finished. So thank you for tuning in. Like I said, Dexter is asleep the entire time. Want your buddy? Yeah. All right. I will catch you next Tuesday. Homework, pair your socks. Yep. No excuses, guys. We should be wearing same socks. Yeah. Do follow our Patreon if you aren't aware of it and you're able to. Any support kind of helps keep this stream running, and it also keeps it free, which is really good. The link will be in the description if you're watching. Are we doing it on YouTube?
Yep.
Sure. The description will be in the description. The link for our Patreon will be there. Otherwise, it'll be in the comment section if you're watching from Facebook. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully you're feeling bendy. And we'll catch you next time.
Catch you later. Thanks, everyone.